Hey guys, welcome back to Tuesday's mini-sode series on Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast with your favorite host, Misty. And let me begin with what I'm present with. So I believe this is number 28 of the mini-sode series. And I know I call it a dose for the soul. Listen, some of them have been a little longer than others, but I'm starting to feel like this is not, it's evolving now from being like this deeper look into my soul to just me giving you guys some quick doses. So there might be another evolution coming. I don't know, more to come on that. But as always, I let you guys know about pretty much almost everything. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's that. I wanted to talk about something today because I'm very present with it though. And you know, as you may have already seen the title of this mini-sode, it is distance, heavy on the is. You know, sometimes you just gotta know when to remove yourself. Let me say this, you guys, will come back for Thursday's full episode where we shine a little light on this. Shout out to my guest. You guys will see who she is. It was a pretty dope conversation. Very raw per usual, but most importantly, it is definitely something that, you know, I had already recorded prior to a series of events that occurred in the last couple of days. And what I will say is this. What I've learned just in the last couple of days is that when you need to check out, to check back in, you don't just do it with the one little area or aspect of your life that you think is the only thing that may be stressing you out or overwhelming you, or that you just need that mental day from. No. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you have to do it from everything. Sometimes you really need to learn how to just shut people out, stay in your space, stay in your place, keep your safe haven so peaceful. Your safe haven being your home, your room, what have you, right? Don't be accessible by phone. Like, it's not to say like, oh my God, go into hibernation and don't come out. No, but sometimes you do need to like remove yourself that far, that much of a distance for your own sanity and for your own safety at times, for your own health, for your own wealth, for your own richness. And I'm not talking getting the bag, although should always be trying to get the bag. Don't get it twisted. But I'm talking about for your fulfillment, for your wholesome. Like, I did a thing where I felt like I needed to take care of my kid and I needed to take care of me. And I semi-checked out of something to check back in. And what I didn't realize was that I failed at not checking out at everything else. I failed at not refocusing and regrouping, not just with one aspect of my life, but with everything. So I could really refuel myself. And I wanted to talk about that very briefly today because distance is not a bad fucking thing. Sometimes you need to create that distance from energies, from words, from actions, whether that is people or things, mostly people. Like, sometimes you do need to do that for yourself so that you don't just get reeled into situations, so that you just don't go along with certain type of energies that you just don't like, or you just don't fuck with anymore, or you just don't want to accept, or you just don't want to deal with, or you just don't want to tolerate. And I'm saying things like this because I've come to realize that I am in a space where there's a lot of things that I've very much so personally decided I no longer want to just go along with. I no longer just want to accept. I no longer just want to shrug my shoulders at and be like, okay, that's how they are. No, there are certain things that I have decided I no longer think people should get a pass at. I no longer think people should just get the shrug of the shoulders and just like, oh, you know, that's just how they are. No, I'm reaching those points. And so while I am aware of what I am accepting and what I am tolerating, for lack of a better word, because there's a huge difference in embracing people just exactly with how they are and then just accepting and tolerating all their actions by any means necessary. You know, there has to come a point where it's like, I do have to still protect my space, and I do have to still protect my energy. You know, I come from a background where I've heard certain comments said to me, directly to me, about why I trust certain people more than others, or why I confide in certain people more than others, or why I, hold certain things inside and I don't share certain things, or why, at a very vulnerable space in my life, certain things were happening to me that I did not feel very comfortable in sharing with very, very close family members. Because the truth is, I did think that there would be scrutiny, and I did think there would be judgment, and I did think that there would be people looking at me sideways for those things. Why there is this part of my life that I have not felt comfortable in talking about to anybody about a particular person and a particular event that happened to me. And I have to say, in the last couple of days, I proved why I select certain people who to trust in, why I select certain people to confide in, and why there are certain people that I could never do that with. And it's not a bad thing. It's okay. It's okay to have that form of self-awareness. It's okay to have that form of enlightenment. It's okay to have that moment of, aha, yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so it is. And that's the part that you embrace, and that's the part that you accept. But that's also the part where you have to look at yourself in the mirror. And if you guys have had a chance to get a copy of my ebook, you guys know there's a lot of shit I do in front of a mirror, where I talk to myself and I coach myself through things. And the truth is, sometimes, the amount of energy is going to take to fight, to try and tell a person to see things from the other person's angle or the other person's shoes. Lord Jesus, we're going to turn blue in the face. The amount of energy that anybody could think they could spend in trying to change another person, Lord Jesus, that's like cardiac arrest, right? But the energy I could put into and just removing myself from a space and being protective of my own, of me, the amount of energy I could just put into just creating that distance is so minimal, and yet is so fulfilling, because I can control that level of energy, because I know to what extent I'm going to need to do that. I'm going to be able to manage that to what is fitting for me. And I've come to realize that in these last couple of days, and today out of all days, and I'm not going to say what day it is, I made a decision to create some distance. And if you've already seen the name of this mini-sode series episode today, it's not to diss anyone. It's not. And while I can assure you, some people may have gotten offended, quite frankly, it comes to a point where you're just not supposed to give a flying fuck, and you're just not supposed to give a shit. It is okay to create that type of a distance with a type of energy that is not fitting for you in that moment. It is okay to do that. Whether that is, if you got my ebook, a short-term fix or long-term solution. Now, have I decided yet if these type of new realizations and new methods that I'm going to really hone in on to practice and really be so self-aware that I'm going to be able to identify these instances and be more proactive with myself in creating these type of distances for wellness, for wholesomeness, for refuelment, for checking out to check back in, right? While I'm going to do that, I want to make it extremely clear that that is by no means any type of indication that what we're doing is cutting anybody off. No, that's not. Woohoo! Miss D finally figured out a way to do things without having to cut people off, because you already know I have a bad habit of doing that. It gets ice cold with me. But that's not what this is. This is really just me just realizing that sometimes you do just need to extend that arm. Fuck what the CDC says. Just put those 6 feet apart and create that distance for yourself. Create that distance for others. Maybe they don't even know they need it. Maybe you need to just create that distance with certain environments. How about that? because sometimes it doesn't even take words or actions. Sometimes it's just the environment and the space itself where we need a little bit of distance. And on that note, guys, this was just a quick dose. I think there might be an evolution in the name itself. I'll let you guys know by the next one. But I wanted to just let this out to you guys and just share it with you guys. I had an aha moment, a little moment to myself, and I fixed it, and I'm proud of myself. And I could not go on to the end of this day without sharing this with you guys, and in hopes that you guys are going to be able to also know how to do this for yourself when the time comes, that if you are ever in a situation where you just need to create a little bit of distance and just be protective of your space, you do it. That's all. And on that note, this has been another mini-sode Tuesday series on Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast. I am your host, Miss T, and you guys, I'm gonna talk to you later on Thursday. Bye.